The harm began quietly, one village here, another farm there. At first, people thought it was the usual rural clashes that had plagued Nigeria for decades. But over the years, the pattern grew darker, clearer, and impossible to ignore. In the northern and middle belt regions of Nigeria, places once known for their open skies, cattle trails, and early morning church bells, fear slowly replaced peace. Christians in remote communities found themselves living with a nightmare they did not choose. It often started at night. A rustle, a strange shout, then the sudden crack of gunfire. Families ran into the bush barefoot, clutching their children. Houses burned. Churches once filled with hymns collapsed under smoke and ash. By dawn, only silence remained. The survivors were left to bury their dead, if the attackers had not already taken the land for themselves. To many villagers, it felt like a quiet genocide. Not declared. Not acknowledged. But lived. Some blamed extremist groups like Boko Haram and ISWAP, whose mission was openly violent against Christians. Others pointed to armed militias operating under the cover of farmer-herder tensions. Whatever the source, the result was the same: targeted killings, destroyed churches, displaced families, and communities wiped from the map. Mothers carried stories of children lost. Fathers rebuilt homes only for them to be burned again. Young people abandoned childhood lands for cities where no one knew their pain. And as the world debated the politics of it, the victims simply called it what it felt like: an attempt to erase them. Yet, even in the midst of grief, something survived. In camps for displaced people, church gatherings grew louder. Broken choirs learned new songs. Pastors preached under trees, using stones as chairs and the open sky as their cathedral. Women cooked for strangers. Men began farming again, even with trembling hands. Hope lived, not because life was easy, but because faith refused to die. The story of Christian communities in Nigeria is therefore not just a story of violence. It is a story of survival. A story of people who saw death up close but still believed in tomorrow. A story of villages that refused to let the last bell fall silent. And each time the morning sun rises over Nigeria, it reminds them of the same truth: even in the face of near genocide, the human spirit, rooted in faith, can never be extinguished.